The push towards rescuing Kenya from the grip of expensive power has begun in earnest. This is following the commissioning of the Olkaria 4 geothermal power plant, which was put up at a cost of 33 billion shillings. The new facility has injected 140 megawatts of electricity that is expected to lower the cost of power by replacing the more expensive diesel-generated power, which currently accounts for a fifth of Kenya's electricity supply.
My government will be able to cut the costs of electric power by 30%.
With cheaper power in supply, the country's overall cost of living is expected to follow the same downward trajectory.
If you translate that to the local mwananchi, I can say that every single county, we can have more than 90% able to build and own their own affordable housing.
And this is especially considering that energy constitutes up to a third of the cost of manufacturing in Kenya.
We have heard consistently the biggest complaint from Kenyans is the cost of living that has consistently been going up. I do strongly believe that with this commissioning and with the other projects that are online, we do believe that before the end of this year, we will be able to dramatically reduce that cost of energy. And we expect in turn, with that reduction, that our own industry will not take that and put that as part of their bottom line, but transfer that to the common mwananchi.
Beyond lowering the cost of power, the availability of power across the country is now set to be accelerated with Olkaria 4's commissioning. The government will now be well placed to bring electricity within the easy reach of more households and public facilities, which ultimately means more economic activity at the grassroots and better provision of essential social services such as health and education.
Rural enterprises, we believe, will mushroom as rural poverty shrinks. More power brings opportunity to transform our country and improve the quality of life in our rural areas and to bring more wealth to our people.
In anticipation of the likely heavy investor interest that will be generated through the coming on-stream of additional geothermal power, at least 1,000 acres of land has been set aside next to the Olkaria geothermal power plant. Here, 5 industrial parks will be set to attract heavy industries that require round-the-clock power supply.
If we can provide adequate power, reliable power, competitively priced power, because as they seek to come into Kenya, our neighbor Ethiopia is beckoning investors to go to Ethiopia. Our neighbors in Rwanda, Uganda, South Africa.
But as the government embarks on expanding the country's power generation capacity, the rollout of the Laptops for Schools program was not far from the president's mind. His main concern being the legal bickering that has beset the progress of that ambitious project.
But really, I think we need to start asking ourselves that as leaders in the respective arms of government, we should not be and place impediments along the way that tend to delay programs and projects.
When the president announced that we are going to connect electricity to the 11,000 remaining primary schools last year, many people did not believe it. But today, 6,000 primary schools have been connected to electricity. And another 5,000 will be connected by April next year.
The president's comments came against the backdrop of an ongoing court battle over a 960-megawatt coal power plant tender that was awarded to a consortium that is led by Centum Investment associated with business tycoon Chris Kirubi. The power project's tender is worth $2 billion, which translates to about 180 billion shillings. The project is part of the government's ambitious plan to increase Kenya's electricity generation capacity to 5,000 megawatts by the year 2017. I am Terry Ann Chebet for Citizen Weekend.